Welcome to the Smart Button user guide video. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how to set up your Smart Button using the CANNY app, and we're going to be using the Land Rover Defender that we've got right here behind me. So the CANNY is already installed on the Defender, and we're going to pair 3 buttons. Why 3 buttons? Well, one of the circuits that we're going to control is the work light, which is at the bottom of the A-pillar. This is the Utility 25 Max, and around the back of the Defender we've also got 2 work lights. So we wanted to control those work lights with 2 buttons, one near the driver's seat so that we can operate it as we're getting out of the driver's seat, and one by the rear boot, and then you've got access to a button right there when you need it. That button at the back there, we're also going to make that button to activate the lights even when the ignition is off, because in that situation we want a working light. We don't want to drain the battery of the vehicle with the ignition being on, and that is a feature in the CANNY app. CANNY is already installed on this Defender, and if you want to see how to set up CANNY, please do check out our other videos. So I'm going to go into paired devices. You'll notice on the app that actually I've got 3 CANNYs which I've previously paired to. By the way, you can edit the name of each CANNY by clicking on those 3 dots there and clicking the edit label button, but I'll leave that one as Defender. This CANNY's already been set up. Channel 4, we're going to set this up, and we want to operate the lamps only using the Smart Button. The first thing I'm going to do is to go into the menu, and then I click on the Smart Buttons tab. We can see that I've got an empty list, so far I haven't paired any Smart Buttons. I'm going to hit the Start Searching button, and at the same time I'm going to press and hold this button. It can take up to 20 seconds for it to appear on the phone. We can see now it's come up, SB1. On that button we can also edit the name of the button, UT25, and that just helps me to know what this button is controlling. It's also worth saying that the Smart Button itself comes with a sticker pack, and in that sticker pack you've got a whole range of different graphics that you can use to fit onto the button. In this case I've chosen a spanner to indicate it's a work light. I'm now going to click on the 3 dots and I'm going to go Configure Smart Button. On this case I'm going to only have it active on channel 4. This is the channel which is relating to the work lights. That is now configured to operate with that channel. If I would press that button here, we can see I've got a Smart Button and it's active on that channel. Okay, and then we can check that the Smart Button has been configured correctly by doing a couple of things. So the first thing, we can use the app, and if I toggle across now, then we see the light coming on, and then I'll move it back across now, we see the light going off. And I can also do the same with the Smart Button, which has also been configured. When I press that now, the light's coming on and we can see the toggle moving across, and I can press it again now and the light now has gone off. It's now just a question of finding a place in the vehicle to mount this Smart Button, and we can move on to configuring the next one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pair this second Smart Button. So as before, I'm entering the menu, I'm clicking on the Smart Buttons location, and then I'm going to hit Start Searching. Again, I've got to press and hold the button for up to 20 seconds. The button has now appeared and we can see it's connected already. Now what we're going to do is we're going to configure this button, and you'll see here that I have a allow output when vehicle ignition is off feature. So I'm going to enable that, and crucially that means now that this button will be able to turn these lights on and off even when the vehicle ignition is off. If I don't do that, then naturally all of the lights will turn off once the ignition is turned off, and a short period after that. Basically it's when the CAN signals stop being sent by the vehicle. So I'm going to click on Configure Smart Button, and again I'm going to assign these to channel 4. That is the channel which is operating all of the Utility 25s on the vehicle. So we can now check that that's been set up correctly. So when I press the button now, lights are turning on and we can see the little toggle moving across, and when I press the button again now, we see the lights going off and the toggle moves back over. So this button's been correctly set up. Do always make sure that you clean the surface that you're attaching the button to, because it's important for the adhesive that we get a clean surface that is free from dust or oil or grease. So the third button that we're going to fit to this Defender, I've already mounted it. It is for the driving lights, the Sentinels and the Glide on the front. One thing I want to point out with this third button is how to do a reset on the button. So we've used this button on another CANNY device. It's previously been paired. So if we now want to pair it to this CANNY device, we need to do a reset. So turn the button off the mount and you can then see the CR2032 battery. You need to remove the battery, and then once we put the battery back in, you've got 5 seconds to press and hold the front of the button in order to do the reset. So we're going to put that back in, and straight away I'm pressing the button. I've now got to hold the button for a minimum of 10 seconds, and once that 10 seconds has passed, this button is now reset and it's ready to be paired with the CANNY in this Defender. Right now I've got the high beam lights off. When I pull the stalk, we can see the 3 toggles moving across, indicating that the CAN signal of the Defender has moved all 3 lights to be on. When I take my hand off the stalk and turn the high beam off, those toggles move back and across. If I would like to now run the high beam lights even with the high beam of the vehicle off, I can press and hold that button, and again I can see the 3 toggles moving across. I press it again once and they then go off. The reason we put the press and hold on there is we want to avoid the situation where you accidentally activate those lights when you get out of the vehicle. If you're driving at night and your high beams are on and there's a car coming the other way and you decide, right, I want to leave my high beams on but turn off the auxiliary lights, you can just tap it once and it will turn off the extra lights, but of course your high beams are still on the vehicle. You can press it again just once and those lights will come back on. So one other important scenario to outline to you is when to use the double click function of this button. So there could be a scenario when you are driving at night and you've had your full high beam system on, including the lasers, and actually you want to deactivate your lasers. You do that very simply with a double click. Once you've double clicked rapidly, it means that when I turn my high beams on and off on the vehicle, nothing is coming on in terms of the extra lights. If I then double click again, now when I turn the stalk, I can see the 3 toggles moving across and CANNY has now reactivated. And if you forget to reactivate your lights, then it recycles once the ignition is turned off and back on again. So that is it for the explanation of how Smart Button works. This button brings full control at the tips of your fingers, and it is a fantastic addition to the CANNY range. In case you need any more information, please do check out our other videos or do get in touch with us. Many thanks.